As the candidates process, they will be greeted and cheered on by members of today's platform party. Representing the academic and administrative leadership of the University of Rochester, along with each of this morning's special guests, the members of the platform party will preside over today's ceremony. Leading the group is University President Sarah Mangelsdorf. She will be joined by Provost David Figlio and deans from each of our schools, faculty members, and university trustees. It is tradition in higher education to recognize several guests and honorees as part of commencement, and that is true today. We will honor members of our community, teachers, scholars, volunteers, and leaders who represent the ideals of the University of Rochester and its motto, Meliora, which translates as ever better. You'll find our honorees listed in today's program, and I hope that you will join us in giving each of them a warm welcome today. We will also hear from guest speakers, including our very special guest from the class of 1995, Josh Shapiro, the first-year governor of Pennsylvania, who will address the graduates today. Governor Shapiro's political career began here at Rochester when he became the first student elected as president of the student government in his first year. Governor Shapiro is the first Rochester alumnus ever to be elected to a state's top executive position. There's always a Rochester connection, I like to say, and that is certainly true here. Commencement speakers have been inspiring Rochester graduates ever since Henry Ward Beecher gave a speech on character at the first ceremony in 1851. So what was the world like in 1995? If you recall, I certainly do. When Governor Shapiro graduated, the commencement speaker was Elizabeth Dole, who served as cabinet secretary under 2 presidents and went on to become North Carolina's first female U.S. senator. 2 New York governors have also spoken at Rochester commencement ceremonies, Thomas Dewey in 1957 and Mario Cuomo in 1985. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill accepted an honorary doctorate by transatlantic radio during 1941's commencement. With war raging in Europe, Churchill pleaded for unity in a rousing speech. Richard Nixon was the commencement speaker in 1966, 2 years before he was elected president of the United States. And another elected official who spoke to graduating students was Congresswoman Louise Slaughter, the late, great Louise Slaughter, back in 2009. And, of course, we heard last year from actor Lance Reddick, who studied at the Eastman School of Music. Sadly, Mr. Reddick passed away this March, and we remember him today. Right now, we are pleased to share a special taped message from Senator Chuck Schumer to our class of 23 and to their families. So please watch the video screens you see there up here for Senator Schumer's message.
Hello, University of Rochester. It's my honor to address the faculty and staff, the families and friends of the graduates, and most of all, you, the class of 2023. Congratulations to you and to your great president, Sarah Mangelsdorf. Now, I'm really sorry that I can't join you in person, but I'm sure celebrating with you in spirit. First, a quick word to the parents. As a parent, I know how hard it is to raise kids these days and how much you've invested in them. But it all pays off as you watch your son or daughter receive their diploma and become an adult before your very eyes. So congratulations to the moms and dads. And now to the class of 2023. The challenges of the last few years have been truly unique. I'm sure you expected your time in college to bring new experiences, but that probably didn't include a global pandemic. But today, you've earned a degree from a truly fine institution of higher learning, and nothing can take that away from you. You're graduating at a time of profound changes across the country and around the world. But here's the good news. Your generation is better equipped than any that's come before it to adapt to these changes, to overcome the obstacles they present, and seize the opportunities they afford, to pursue your passions and accomplish big things. Right now, though, it may seem like the future's uncertain. Many of you may not be sure what comes next, which I know sometimes can seem scary. But what has been true throughout history is just as true today. That even in times of profound change, there are always new opportunities, new ways of thinking, of doing things a better way. So my advice to the graduates of 2023 is simple. Go for it. You've got great assets, a great education from a world-class institution of higher learning, and loving families that will have your back through thick and thin. So garner the courage and strength to put aside your doubts, take a chance, and if you do, it is my hope, it is my prayer, and indeed it is my confidence that you will find true success and joy in life. So, to this great class of 2023, I say once again, congratulations, good luck, Godspeed, and don't forget, go for it.
Wonderful words to begin our ceremony. The full pomp and circumstance of commencement will be on display as the students and the platform party enter the stadium and as our graduates and guests take their places. And they are lining up and the party is ready to get started. The graduates and the platform party will be dressed in academic regalia, a tradition that dates to the Middle Ages. The University of Rochester's regalia is based on our signature colors of Rochester blue and dandelion yellow. Once again, please be sure to stay out of the aisles as our candidates begin their march to the stage. The graduates will be wearing certain colors, so we ask that you pay close attention to the colorful piece of regalia known as the hood. Each academic unit has its own color for the hood, helping to identify graduates by schools and degrees. And now, introducing the candidates for graduation from the University of Rochester. A big round of applause. present candidates from the School of Arts and Sciences. Orange marks the Hagem School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Pink signifies the Eastman School of Music. Students from the Warner School of Education will wear light blue. Candidates from the School of Medicine and Dentistry don gold and salmon. School of Nursing students wear apricot. We love nurses, and it's Nurses Week, don't forget that. Celebrate a nurse. And Simon School of Business candidates will wear a light brown hood. In addition, the candidates will wear an assortment of other colorful emblems that have an important meaning to their individual academic journey. And what's graduation without the colorful mortarboards with personal and inspirational messages? I'm already seeing some amazing ones past me this morning. These are awesome. The members of the class of 2023 will be led in academic procession by University Marshal Catherine Chisinski. From the Eastman School of Music, who will carry a ceremonial object called the mace. The mace was first commissioned in 1935 for the inauguration of University President Allen Valentine, and it's been used in academic processions ever since. Accompanying the Marshal will be Associate Marshal Jennifer Krushwitz from the Institute of Optics, who will carry a smaller ceremonial object known as the baton, embellished with dandelions and stars. Looking great, graduates, looking great. Let's give them a big round of applause. It's a big weekend. Oh, and here come the bubbles. A reminder that our ceremony will mark the conferral of degrees for graduates from 7 schools. Later today and over the weekend, each graduate will be recognized individually during celebrations conducted by their academic units. And if you're hungry, we have food trucks on hand after the ceremony. They'll be in service from 11 until 1:30 at the Wilson Quad. Approximately 1,700 students will graduate from these schools today. 55 doctoral graduates, 59 from the Eastman School of Music, 901 from the School of Arts and Sciences, 371 from the Hagem School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, 48 from the School of Medicine and Dentistry, 19 from the School of Nursing, 190 from the Simon School of Business, and 31 from the Warner School of Education and Human Development. Once again, we ask that you keep the aisles free and clear during today's ceremony To ensure that everyone has the best possible experience, please remain in your seats during the ceremony until the end. There are water tents on the field and complimentary water at the snack bar inside the stadium. There are 2 restrooms inside the gates on the field and another restroom inside the stadium and another just outside the stadium on Library Road. And if you need medical assistance, please speak to the nearest public safety officer or other university volunteer or staff member wearing a commencement lanyard. And in the rare event that we need to evacuate, please exit through one of the 4 gate openings, or if you are inside the stadium, out the front doors of the stadium. Please follow staff directions to the nearest building for a safe waiting area. Take a moment to note the gate or exit nearest your seat. Been a remarkable one for our university students. Students, faculty, alumni, and other programs have been given national and international praise. Congratulations to Andres Arroyo Gonzalez, a junior from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Felicidades! He was selected as a Truman Scholar this spring. The scholarship is the premier scholarship for aspiring public service leaders in the United States. Congratulations! A record 4 Rochester students received Barry Goldwater scholarships. These awards are given to high-achieving science majors. Congratulations to our recipients, Derek Chen, Katie Hall, Maggie Scholar, and Hope Silva. Earlier this year, another point of pride. Earlier this year, the university earned 5 out of 5 stars on the Campus Pride Index. The index is a national indicator measuring LGBTQ+ inclusivity at colleges and universities across the United States. Rochester received an amazing 49 out of 50, the second highest among the 289 colleges and universities surveyed. As no surprise that members of the Eastman School of Music community earn accolades. This year, 3 Eastman graduates earned Grammy Awards for their excellence as artists and creative professionals. World-renowned soprano Renee Fleming, Pulitzer Prize-winning composer Kevin Putz, and noted sound engineer Bob Ludwig each received Grammys. Since the first ceremony in 1959, members of the Eastman community have garnered more than 60 Grammy Awards. And Rochester graduate John Casada returned to Earth in March from a mission to the International Space Station. John received his PhD in physics and is one of 3 Rochester graduates who have taken part in NASA missions to outer space. some more points of pride? The Simon School of Business was ranked #1 in the world for return on investment by The Economist. And in addition, 95% of graduates in Simon's MBA class of 2022 accepted job offers within the first 3 months of graduation. Meanwhile, the School of Nursing launched a new program to help enhance clinical care in our region. A partnership with the Medical Center, the program provides tuition-free nursing education for select students as a way to provide needed support for U of R medical facilities. And speaking of being out of this world, I had to do this. Astrophysicist Adam Frank from the Physics and Astronomy Department has been a regular on CNN. He's been on air with Anderson Cooper and other journalists to talk about the upcoming moon launch, the Webb Space Telescope, and the search for intelligent life elsewhere in the universe. Of course, we're focusing on intelligent life here today. Construction, we keep building. Construction continues on an expansion at the university's laboratory for laser energetics. The expanded area will be the home of a new state-of-the-art, high-powered laser system. And earlier this year, the university opened a brand new orthopedics and physical performance surgery center at Marketplace Mall in Henrietta. You can't miss it. It's the biggest building in all of Henrietta. It's also the first surgery center in the world to include a clean cube operating room. Last year, a record-setting 22 heart transplants were performed at Strong Memorial Hospital, another point of pride. The only hospital in upstate New York to offer this life-saving procedure. We are full of pride for the University of Rochester, and I love the beach balls. I love it. Once the aisles are clear, we can continue on with our ceremony today. Once again, as soon as faculty take their seats, we can begin with the platform party introduction. Welcome, faculty. Let's give them a big round of applause. Wonderful. And would the members of the class of 2023, their friends, their family members, and special guests, and all who are sharing in this ceremony with us today, please rise as the platform party is heralded to the stage and its members take their places for today's celebration. It is my great privilege to welcome members of the class of 2023 to the university's 173rd commencement ceremony. I am also deeply honored to welcome the members of the platform party to this momentous event. To everyone here, congratulations on achieving this milestone. Thank you, and Meliora! Let's give our processional a big round of applause to our platform party as they make their way to the stage. Once again, let's give our platform party and all of you out there today, the graduates, a big round of applause. Congratulations. Welcome back, Governor Shapiro. How do we look? Do we look good? Would you say we look good? Really good, yes. Enjoy the ceremony, folks. And Meliora.
Now, as we begin, let us take a moment to reflect in the joy of this day. In the name of all that is sacred and holy, the divine energy known by many names, we offer our gratitude for all of our students who are graduating today. We give thanks for the dedication they have shown as they have completed this phase of their academic preparation for the many vocations into which they are now moving, and especially for the resilience and grace with which they weathered 2+ years of their educational journey during a global pandemic. We give thanks for the families and friends that have nurtured them during their sojourn through their university programs and during the trying and frustrating days of lockdown and virtual learning. We join these students in giving thanks for friendships forged here that will last a lifetime, for wise mentors, challenging teachers, and opportunities for personal, academic, spiritual, and professional growth that have stretched them and tested them as they have graced this campus during this phase of their life's journey. We send them forth buoyed by our great hopes and expectations for all they have yet to do. O eternal Spirit, imbue them with humility, a good sense of humor, patience, compassion, and a commitment to justice and peace. May their happiness increase as they serve the world. May they dream big dreams. May they nourish the visionary gleam that lies within them, cultivate the art of seeing invisible things, turn their knowledge into wisdom, hone their sense of right and wrong, and at the last, understand the meaning of their own lives. U of R, class of 2023, may the eternal Spirit bless you and keep you. May the Holy One be gracious to you. May you live expectantly, love courageously, and go forth from this university to be a blessing to the world as you have blessed us with your presence during your time here. Amen.
Good morning. My name is Rich Handler, and on behalf of all the trustees of the University of Rochester, it's my privilege to welcome you to Commencement 2023. The very first order of business today is to look back in the grandstands and behind us at all the people that have made it possible for every one of you to be here today. Parents, grandparents, siblings, friends, the people who love you, the people who supported you, the people who have paid for this education. Everyone, students, stand up, turn around, and thank everyone who made it possible for you to be here today. I also want to give a very inappropriate shout out to the Handler Scholars in the audience. Where are you? Make some noise. Love you all and your families. Congratulations. If you go to the university's commencement site or on my Instagram, I talk about 100 things I wish I knew when I was in your position graduating from school. I'm not going to share that list, but I'm going to tell you one thing today that I kind of wish I knew way back when. Now, let's just think for a second. None of you got here today because you were lucky. None of you gamed the system, and none of you kind of winged it to get your way to this graduation day. You all did it the hard way, through hard work, smarts, tenacity. And if you look around the stadium at your peers, many of you will have truly exceptional, great careers. Amongst you, there'll be great scientists, doctors, great dentists, great nurses, great professors, great writers, business leaders, lawyers, great politicians, great engineers, great musicians and actors, and other fields. Now, to achieve all this, you're going to have hard work, sacrifice, ambition, creativity, dedication, a little bit of luck. Now, think about it for a second. Even if you have all those traits, by definition, odds are not everyone is going to have a great career. That's just weird. Not great. Some could be just really successful, really fulfilling, and really wonderful. There'll be challenges, there'll be setbacks, career choices that go wrong, and some random bad luck. Some people might even work a little bit harder, get a little bit luckier. That's the reality of the real world. So the one thing I wish I kind of realized way back when that I realized today at 61 years old is that while every one of you is going to strive to be have a great career, it's kind of more important to strive to be a great person. So what do I mean by being a great person? I boil it down to 5 simple things. Simple to say, not so simple to do. A great person prioritizes their family and never takes them for granted or misses the opportunity to tell them how much you love them and how much they mean to you. Many people have great careers, but a lot of people miss the mark in this spot. A great person always stands by their friends. They celebrate their every success, and more importantly, they're there for every failure. Failures are the only time you really know who your real friends are anyway in life. And by the way, being a great friend, we know what a good friend is. A good friend is happy when you do well. But some good friends aren't great friends because they're not happy when you do too well, okay? Great friends want their friends to be superstars. Great person is consistent, dependable, leads by example, and realizes it's a privilege to basically be a service of everybody, regardless of whether the person has power, privilege, or can do anything for you. They treat everybody the same. And finally, a great person takes care of him or herself, because they realize if you don't take care of yourself, both mentally and physically, you could be of no service to others. And people realize that being of service to others is truly one of life's biggest gifts. Great people have all these traits, and that is really why great people sleep so well at night. Now, none of you throw in the towel and give up having a great career. Many of you will. This crowd, there'll be a disproportionate number of great careers, and that is incredibly well to be celebrated and enjoyed. But the world does need more great doctors or lawyers or business people. But the world really, really needs right now, with all that's going on around us, is 4,000 more great people. Each of you are destined for that. It'll be hard work. It's my honor and privilege to watch you all accomplish it. Congratulations, Meliora, and have a great graduation.
Distinguished guests, please welcome to the podium President Sarah Mangelsdorf.
Thanks for you. Good morning and welcome, members of the faculty, members of the Board of Trustees, families, friends, distinguished guests, and especially the University of Rochester class of 2023. This is really an exciting day. I have always loved commencements. When I was a child, my father was the marshal of the Swarthmore College commencement. He did that for 25 years, and every year as a kid, I would go and watch the commencement, and I just loved it. I loved the pomp, I loved the music, the regalia, the tassels. And today I cherish commencement for deeper reasons. As a celebration of this once-in-a-lifetime milestone in our students' lives, a celebration that strengthens and affirms our sense of connection, community, and shared identity that's been forged during your time here that I hope you will carry with you for the rest of your lives. I also am very grateful for this public opportunity it gives us to do what Rich just mentioned, to thank all of those who helped, encouraged, and supported our students along the way, especially the parents, siblings, loved ones. So please, we can't give those people too many rounds of applause. So please join me now in giving another hearty round of applause for all those who supported our graduates. As a parent myself, I expect that many of those loved ones here might have a slight lump in their throat, maybe a small knot in their stomach, because in truth, this is much a transition for them, as it is for you, graduates. But more than anything, I know they feel overwhelming pride. This year's commencement is particularly significant to me because the undergraduates who are graduating today, members of the class of 2023, and I arrived at this campus just within a few weeks of each other. And you know, beginnings are always stir up a measure of uncertainty in all of us. And just as we were all beginning to find our footing, find our way around the campus, establish a rhythm to our days, the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted our lives, and I sent you students all home at spring break and told you not to come back. You were not happy, but it didn't fit with your vision of the college experience. It wasn't what you thought college would look like. Well, it wasn't what I thought my first year of my presidency would look like either, okay? So, but you and we persevered, even in the headwinds of a global pandemic. You exemplified resilience, adaptability, determination, and you kept your eyes trained on the long view, and you completed a world-class university education despite that all. And make no mistakes, those qualities, resilience, adaptability, perseverance, the qualities that got you here during some very trying times will serve you well throughout your life journey. If we needed any reminder of the complexity and scale of the challenges that face our world, the pandemic underscored that very clearly. But challenges have a way of generating wonderful opportunities, and this particular challenge, COVID-19, propelled advancement in vaccine development and management, and we at our medical center were honored to be part of that effort. It also drove necessary innovations in how we do business, how our institutions respond and adapt to shutdowns, how we connect with one another and try to stay connected. I don't know about you, but I got tired of some of those Zoom social hours, but we got through it. And even how we confront the perils of the misinformation industry. This list goes on. We face challenges of a similar scale in other realms: climate change, food, water, and energy security, healthcare access, to name a few. These are challenges that blur and transcend geopolitical borders and demand global solutions. Challenges that call for creative thinking, cross-disciplinary research, diverse perspectives, and collaborative solutions built on a shared desire for us to make the world a better place. Because we know that the most transformative, most sustainable solutions to complex problems demand input from across sectors, areas of expertise, and life experience. That's what a University of Rochester education has prepared you for. You came here from all around the world. We have more than 100 different countries represented on our campus, and almost 70 of them are among the class of 2023. We embrace diversity across multiple measures because we believe that excellence in education can only be achieved when it is informed by a rich variety of views, voices, and viewpoints that challenge us to question our assumptions, that compel us to rethink what we think we know in order to arrive at a better understanding of and respect for one another and ourselves. During your time here, you learned from and alongside world-class scholars. You've engaged in vigorous research and scholarship that cut across traditional boundaries, span disciplines, departments, and schools, in the classroom, in the studio and concert hall, in the laboratory, and on the playing fields, in all your day-to-day interactions. You have learned, you have grown in ways designed to make you better thinkers, better leaders, and ultimately better citizens of our world. In a few minutes, you will hear from one of University of Rochester's own, Josh Shapiro, class of '95, governor of the state of Pennsylvania, who stepped up as a first-year student here to head our student association, and who last fall rode his passion for public service all the way to the Pennsylvania's governor's office. Each of you has risen to challenges we put before you, and I know, just as Governor Shapiro has, you will go on to do great things. I have just a few words of advice. Never stop learning. I can tell you that from personal experience, the process of self-discovery and intellectual growth, those are lifelong processes. The habits of mind that you have cultivated here will serve you a lifetime. The other thing I'd like to say is don't assume there's only one pathway forward. Sometimes people feel when they're graduating they need to know exactly what they're going to do with the rest of their life, no matter have it all mapped up. You don't need to. In fact, there are chances you will encounter multiple intersections, detours, and even occasional false starts. That's life. But that's what happens as you explore your place in this amazing and amazingly complex world. Be patient with yourself and with the process of finding the right fit for you, because you will. I'm sure of that. And I can't wait to see what you will do with your passions, whether the passions run towards medicine or music, physics or philosophy, education or engineering, business or bioethics, or any of the other 200 academic programs that we have on our campus. Please stay in touch, stay involved, and join our alumni family of more than 120,000 people worldwide. And don't underestimate the power of those connections. A few weeks ago, I was on Capitol Hill, and I met a young alum who was telling me that he'd once crossed paths with commencement speaker Governor Shapiro, who gave him some advice. Today, that alum is a press secretary on Capitol Hill. So sometimes a small conversation with another Rochester grad can propel you forward in ways you never imagined. So don't forget to call upon your Rochester family. In closing, 4 years ago at my inauguration, I cited University and City benefactor George Eastman, who said, "A good reputation is measured by how much you can improve the lives of others." University of Rochester graduates have been improving lives for generations. Like them, as you put your knowledge into practice in the years ahead, you magnify the impact of your education and this university on making our communities, our nation, and the world ever better. Meliora, it's a value that you have lived by during your time here, and one that I know you will continue to embrace proudly from this day forward. Congratulations, class of 2023, Meliora!
Please welcome Mark Taubman, Chief Executive Officer of the University of Rochester Medical Center and Dean of the School of Medicine and Dentistry, to present the Charles Force Hutchison and Marjorie Smith Hutchison Medal.
President Mangelsdorf, I have the honor to present Jude Sauer for the Charles Force Hutchison and Marjorie Smith Hutchison Medal. Over the course of a remarkable career, Jude Sauer has ushered in a new era of medical diagnosis, treatment, and care. Thanks to Dr. Sauer and his innovative approach to medical technology, surgical procedures are less invasive, patients recover more quickly, and families worry less about time spent in a hospital setting. The drive of this Rochester-educated physician to improve many aspects of medicine has transformed the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. Since receiving his first patent as surgical resident at the School of Medicine and Dentistry, Dr. Sauer has specialized in developing minimally invasive surgical devices, particularly in the fields of general gynecologic, bariatric, and cardiac surgery. As founder, president, and CEO of Rochester-based LSI Solutions, he holds nearly 200 patents with more than 100 pending. As a clinical assistant professor of surgery at Rochester, he has helped establish the medical center as a leader in the field of minimally invasive cardiac surgery. Dr. Sauer's support has served as an investment in the success of the next generation of innovative thinkers and leaders.
Jude Sauer, we are proud to count you among our most outstanding alumni for your inspirational achievement as a pioneering medical leader and as an exemplary member of our university community. We present to you our highest alumni honor, the Charles Force Hutchison and Marjorie Smith Hutchison Medal. And now we're on to the university's Frederick Douglass Medal. Unfortunately, at the last moment, Harriet Washington was not able to be with us, but she's so sorry, and she'll join us for another time to receive her award. But her many accomplishments and contributions to the field of medical ethics will be celebrated at another point in time. And at this point, we will now present the university's honorary degrees, and Provost David Figlio will present our first candidate.
President Mangelsdorf, I present Professor Claudia Golden for the honorary degree of Doctor of Science. Claudia Golden is one of the most respected and accomplished economists of her generation. Her innovative research on income inequality, technological change, education, and issues related to gender and family have transformed our understanding of the economic status of women. Widely recognized for influential work exploring the wage gap that exists among genders, she has also been a leading advocate for policies that promote gender equality in the workplace and in higher education. Currently, the Henry Lee Professor of Economics at Harvard University, where she was the first woman in the department to receive tenure. Professor Golden is past president of the American Economic Association. Her national colleagues have also elected her to membership in the National Academy of Sciences and to fellowships in the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, the Econometric Society, and the Society of Labor Economists.
Claudia Golden, the University of Rochester is proud to recognize you for your pioneering research, outstanding scholarship, and dedicated service. Your tireless commitment to understanding the economic role of American women and to elevating the conversations about gender equality are a lasting example of what it means to make the world ever better. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Science and invest you with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto.
Sorry, I had to take that candid photograph. I'm also friendly with Professor Golden's husband, who is a decent economist as well. So, President Mangelsdorf, I present Dr. Michelle Albert for the honorary degree of Doctor of Science. Michelle Albert has distinguished herself as a physician, scientist, and leading advocate for equitable health care for all Americans. A trailblazer throughout her career, Dr. Albert is widely recognized as a global thinker, innovator, and leader. As a cardiologist, she has demonstrated new pathways in research. As a clinician, she has provided care to critically ill patients. And as a champion for equity, she has led national efforts to open doors to those who too often have been left behind by medicine and its advances. As a physician scientist, Dr. Albert is the first woman of color and Black woman to serve as president of the American Heart Association. And the Association of University Cardiologists. Serving also as the president of the Association of Black Cardiologists, she is the first to hold all 3 leadership roles concurrently. An elected member of the National Academy of Medicine, Dr. Albert is driven by a long-standing commitment to see each individual as a whole person. She found a clinical connection at Rochester, home of the biopsychosocial model of care. Earning her medical degree from our School of Medicine and Dentistry, Dr. Albert joined our community of clinicians and scholars.
Dr. Michelle Albert, we are proud to recognize your dedication to improving health outcomes and honoring your ringing voice for truth and compassion. Your values as a clinician and a medical leader embody the ideals of our university. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the honorary degree, Doctor of Science, and invest you with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto.
President Mangelsdorf, I now have the distinct honor to present Governor Josh Shapiro for the honorary degree of Doctor of Letters. Josh Shapiro has distinguished himself as one of the nation's foremost public leaders dedicated to the enduring idea that government should help all citizens succeed. As the newly elected governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, he has earned bipartisan consensus for his commitment to justice, education, economic equity, and equality. Guided by the principle that every individual deserves dignity and respect, Governor Shapiro exemplifies the notion that if we all engage in our responsibilities as members of a community, we can truly make the world ever better. Imbued early in life with the values of service to his community, Governor Shapiro brought his dedication to improving the common good to the university as a member of the class of 1995. From his historic election as president of the student body as a first-year student, to later legislative and executive success in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, and as the state's Attorney General, Governor Shapiro has served his constituents with distinction and dedication.
Governor Shapiro, in recognition of your commitment to improving the lives of the people of Pennsylvania and for your extraordinary career of public engagement, we are proud to count you as among the leading members of the University of Rochester community. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the honorary degree, Doctor of Letters, and invest you with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations. Now, I'm letting Governor Shapiro sit down, but actually I'm just about to introduce him as our commencement speaker, so he's going to have to come back up here. But anyway, it now gives me great pleasure to turn the podium over to Governor Josh Shapiro, who will deliver the 2023 commencement address. And as a resident of Pennsylvania, I grew up there. Now I'm a resident of New York, but I am loyal to Pennsylvania, and I'm thrilled to count Governor Shapiro as my governor.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Let me begin by thanking our history-making president, President Mangelsdorf, for the kind introduction to have me here today, the kind invitation from she and the Board of Trustees, the facilitation from my former professor, Gerald Gamm, for allowing me to be back here today to celebrate all of you, the class of 2023. I gotta tell you, it is so cool to be here on campus, not just as an alum, but as your commencement speaker and the 48th governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We got some Pennsylvanians here. I also want you to know I am proud and humbled to be standing here in the same spot, looking over the same field where I addressed the class of 1995 during my own commencement 28 years ago. I'm thinking today about my time here and how it prepared me for the road ahead. How I've routinely drawn on my experiences here at U of R to make decisions over the years. I'm smiling as I look out on all of you thinking about the day I graduated with my buddies, including two of them who came back here today with me to be a part of this ceremony, Adam Keats and Seth Fox right over there. Those friendships, friendships I made here at U of R have lasted 3 decades. I'm thinking about how this was the place I was first inspired academically by the late Professor Richard Fenno, who taught me to love the science of political science. And I'm thinking about the person who taught me the value and strength of diversity and respect for others, of being meaningfully involved in the community around you. And that is the late, great Dean Paul Burgett. I miss them both, but I know they're smiling on us today. Hell, it's not snowing, so we know that they're smiling on us today. They had a profound impact on my life. And I presume each member of this class of 2023 has someone here at U of R, maybe on the stage, maybe out in the crowd, who deeply impacted you along the way, who you think of, and who I believe you will draw inspiration from for many years to come. So let's give thanks and praise to those who helped you get to this moment, your parents and family and loved ones who are here with us today, and especially to the great faculty, staff, and administrators here at the University of Rochester. Graduates, I want you to know I offer my sincere congratulations to each and every one of you. This is a remarkable achievement, and for the class of 2023, I think it is especially impressive. Look, I know this class hasn't had the traditional college experience. You went to class and joined student organizations, hung out with friends on the quad on the rare day when the sun came out and the snow melted. You probably wore shorts that day, too. You studied in the stacks, you ate pizza in the pit, and by the way, I want you to know another thing I took from this place is I still dip my pizza in blue cheese dressing, something I learned here at U of R. But I think I'm hearing some boos over here. But I think it's also, I can't believe you booed me over the blue cheese. I think it's also, though, important that we acknowledge that your undergrad years were filled with challenges and obstacles that we couldn't have imagined during your convocation 4 years ago. You got on campus freshman year in the fall of 2019, and just as you were finding your feet in your second semester, the world stopped. And when classes resumed online, you had to relearn every strategy you had for success, but you didn't let that stop you. At every turn, you showed incredible resilience. You persevered and you overcame whatever obstacles were put in your way. And what makes all of you uniquely prepared for the world you're going into is that you have not let those obstacles define you. Now listen, while I wasn't a student in the middle of a global pandemic here, I know what it's like to have your plans change in the middle of college. Let me explain. Just like so many of you, I had big dreams and a plan when I came here to U of R. I grew up watching my parents serve our community. My dad was the local pediatrician, my mom a school teacher. Both of them made a difference in our neighbors' lives. And I knew I wanted to do the same here at U of R. So when I got to campus my freshman year, I planned to follow in my dad's footsteps and become a doctor. I came here in part because of the great academics and the university's connection to Strong Memorial Hospital. Now, not only that, I was a pretty darn good basketball player in high school. And so I thought for sure I would earn a spot on the men's team. So my big dream when I came to U of R was this: I planned to be the first doctor to get drafted by the Sixers and play in the NBA. By the way, shout out to any Sixers fans. That was rough last night, but we're going to win in Game 7. Now listen, while I wasn't sure about the whole Sixers part, I was absolutely certain about playing for the Yellow Jackets and earning a pre-med degree here. But on the same day during my first semester at U of R, 3 things happened that would alter my path and lead me to standing right here today. First, I took a big test, the deciding test for my grade in a required class for pre-med. And out of 165 points, I got a 4, like 4 total points. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to make matters worse, I believe you got 2 free points if you just wrote your TA's name correctly on the exam. My professor was so nice, he brought me back and he said, maybe being a doctor just wasn't gonna be in the cards for me. Later that day, I went to basketball practice, which was gonna be my escape from my academic misery, until I found out that day from Coach Neer that I was cut from the men's basketball team. All on the same day. Not my best day, obviously. But a third thing happened that day. Someone knocked on my dorm room door in Tiernan. Shout out to anybody from Tiernan. Yep. And they asked me to run for the student senate. And when I asked, why would I do that? They said, well, you got nothing going on in your life right now anyway. So what do you have to lose, Josh? So I ran, and I won. And that early experience in student government, in advocating for my fellow students, actually opened up my eyes to a new avenue of public service that I could follow in my parents' footsteps. It actually inspired me to start studying political science under Professor Gamm and others, and eventually a career working in government to improve the lives of others. I got knocked down pretty hard that day my freshman year, but I persevered. And the lessons I learned here at U of R have continued to serve me in the 28 years since. Just by virtue of you being here today, each and every one of you knows what it's like to face challenges, to persevere, to overcome them. And I'm told that some of you actually made it through organic chemistry and calculus. Good for you, good for you. You've overcome so much during these challenging 4 years at U of R. In hard times, this community has come together to hold one another up. And in good times, you've come together to celebrate one another. That is inspiring. And it's your example and your leadership that we need now more than ever. Not just here at U of R, but all across this great country. Because we need leaders like you who can bring us together around a shared vision for a better future. Leaders who are battle-tested and ready to take their ideas out in the world. And hear me on this, leaders who don't sweat the small stuff because they've dealt with the big stuff. Leaders like Fernanda Sesto, who helped teach girls in the local community about coding in STEM with Girls Who Code. Not only that, Fernanda launched a new club to help her fellow students about venture capital and how it can help young entrepreneurs get their business off the ground. You should go talk to the board chair about that. Leaders like Morgan Gillespie. Let's hear it from Morgan. Yeah, Morgan, you performed groundbreaking research on gender bias among American voters, upending the accepted wisdom about how voters view women who run for office. Morgan also served as an associate justice on the all-campus Judicial Council, where she and her colleagues push for policies that are applied equitably to every student, regardless of their background. Maybe we'll have an opening on the Supreme Court soon. We'll get you in there, all right? Leaders like Bryn Murphy Stanley, who worked extensively in the Rochester community to connect Black youth to the stories of their elders and created a museum exhibit that tells their stories and ensures the history of the Black community in Rochester lives on. Fernanda and Morgan, Bryn, they deserve a lot of credit for what they've accomplished. But I know they're not alone. You see, their accomplishments reflect the spirit and the drive of this entire class of 2023. I've had the good fortune to spend time with 2023 graduates, and let me just say this. You are the ones I want on the front lines addressing the big challenges of tomorrow. You have that resiliency. You got knocked down and you got right back up even stronger. You have the tenacity to fight for a better world that you know you deserve. And we are all counting on you to help us tackle those challenges. Challenges that a lot of so-called leaders have frankly failed to address for too long. We're counting on you to meet this moment and combat climate change and gun violence. We're counting on you to not only harness the potential of AI, but be thoughtful about the ethical questions this rapid advancement presents. We're counting on you to create a more just society so that everyone can get a fair shot in our country, no matter what you look like, where you come from, who you love, or who you pray to. We are counting on you. And yes, we are counting on you to run for office, to challenge the status quo, to bring the energy of your generation into our politics. For those of you from Pennsylvania, I would just respectfully ask that you not run against me. But no matter what you decide to do, every community and every industry needs leadership and vision right now. And I know this class is up to that challenge because this class will persevere through anything. And no matter what challenges you encounter in life, I know you're ready to meet them and overcome them because that is what a U of R education has taught you. Perseverance is part of the U of R legacy. It's literally represented by our official flower, the dandelion, which can thrive and actually bring beauty to the most unexpected and challenging places. It tracks with our motto, Meliora. It's about always striving to do a little better, to make yourself a little stronger and smarter, to make our community more fair and more prosperous, to help others see light in the midst of darkness, to see a dandelion as a flower, not as the weed that some people say it is. A U of R education is about taking the knowledge, the passion, the resiliency that you learned here with you, and then doing your part to make the world even better. My faith teaches me that no one is required to complete the task, but neither are we free to refrain from it. That means each of us has a responsibility to get off the sidelines, to get in the game, and to do our part. Now look, I know we may not all share the same faith, but I know we share the same values because we are graduates of this fine institution, and it's the lifeblood of this place. U of R graduates have literally changed the world. Consider this, Dr. Michael Gottlieb who identified AIDS in 1981 and whose research no doubt saved lives, graduated from here. So did Donna Strickland, a pioneer in laser technology who won the Nobel Prize for inventing high-intensity laser pulses that are now integral for corrective eye surgery, medical imaging, and industrial machining. Or Paul Merton, the astronomer who discovered the first black hole in space. You see, here at U of R, we boast Nobel laureates, famous actors, cabinet secretaries to presidents, astronauts, and more who have overcome the obstacles and made a meaningful impact. U of R graduates have left their mark on every industry, every sector of our economy. And I know this class is going to do the same because you already are. You're already leading your community forward from the challenges of these past 4 years. You are resilient and you're tough. You got knocked down and then you got back up, and you never let yourself feel robbed of a typical college experience of all 4 years due to this pandemic. Instead, no. You found a way to let this time infuse you with a toughness and tenacity that will be your tool to overcome any obstacle that you confront in the future. You built community together. You supported and loved one another. And the challenges you faced here never quashed your spirit of innovation and ingenuity. And that's exactly what our world needs more of right now. And if I know one thing, it's that this class of 2023 is going to meet this moment. So as you go out in the world, graduates, draw wisdom from your time here at U of R. Draw comfort from the friends you've made here, as I've done. Draw inspiration from the fellow graduates who have come before you. And live out the words of Francis Bellamy, a fellow alum from the class of 1876, who wrote the original Pledge of Allegiance, which calls on us to pursue liberty and justice for all. Use that Meliora spirit to go out and make our world more just, more free for all people. And like a dandelion, bring light to those unexpected places that need it most. Summon that strength you developed here to persevere and conquer. And as you do that, you will not only find individual success, but you will make our world a better place. Congratulations, graduates. Meliora. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, please welcome to the podium once again, Provost David Figlio.
All right. I don't know how I can follow that. Forgive me, if I could go off script for 30 seconds just to say that in my first econometrics exam of my first year of my PhD program, the late Art Goldberger of blessed memory gave me a grade of -10. I didn't follow Governor Shapiro's move intelligently or stupidly, but I did persevere and earned my PhD. And now I have the privilege of being the chief academic officer of one of the greatest universities in the entire world. If anybody can go and teach Orgo in your spare time. Back to the script. Over the course of this weekend, the university will celebrate the members of our academic community who have been recognized by our students for making a real difference in their academic experiences. We will honor the recipients of Rochester's most distinguished teaching awards in undergraduate education across all the university's disciplines. At this time, I would like to publicly recognize these remarkable members of our faculty. The Edward Peck Curtis Award for Excellence in Undergraduate Teaching is awarded to the following people. George Ferguson, Professor of Computer Science in the Hagem School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Dragony Fu, Associate Professor of Biology in the School of Arts and Sciences. And Paul Shanahan, Executive Professor at the Simon Business School. Represent. The G. Graydon Curtis 58 and Jane W. Curtis Award for Non-Tenured Faculty Teaching Excellence Award goes to the following two people. Matthew Amelski, Assistant Professor of English in the School of Arts and Sciences. And Andrea Piquel, Assistant Professor of Mechanical Engineering in the Hagem School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Please join me in thanking our truly outstanding faculty for their dedication to the success of our students.
Please welcome Dean of the College, Jeffrey Runner, who will introduce the class of 2023 undergraduate student speaker.
It is my pleasure to introduce Class Council President Alex Fegler. Alex came to Rochester from Oakland, California to study biology, art history, and psychology. During her time as an undergrad, she has served as a student senator and was chair of the Student Association's Campus Life Committee. She also participated in pediatric and biopsychosocial research at the Medical Center and hosted a weekly radio program on WRUR. Alex is a shining example of the exceptional students who choose Rochester. Please give a warm welcome to Alex Fegler.
Thank you, Dean Runner, for that warm welcome, and good morning, friends, family, faculty, and most importantly, the esteemed graduates of the class of 2023. As mentioned, I'm Alex Fegler. I'm the 2023 AS&E Class Council President, and I'm so honored to be here with you today. I'd like to start your morning with a little fun story about my mom. This is only her second time here in Rochester, and when she was planning her trip here, she wanted to pull up the river campus to kind of get a sense of the area. So she typed University of Rochester into Google Maps. She zoomed in, zoomed in, zoomed in a lot more, and then she turned to me and said, "Is it just that little patch of grass right there? That's it? That's all?" It's true, we're a relatively small school. Despite of that, I know that all of our undergraduate experiences have been so vastly different that it will be simply impossible for me to try and condense them all into one eloquent, all-encompassing speech. So instead, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my undergraduate experience, and hopefully you can find some common ground or some shared sentiment to relate to and take with you as we go out into the real world. As the reality of this momentous occasion has approached, I found myself reflecting on how I ended up here. And it helps that that reflection is often prompted by the very frequent questions I get about why I would leave California for upstate New York. And I usually give a very straightforward answer, one that was very true 4 years ago when I decided to come here, which is that I really badly wanted to experience winter for the first time. Not so much anymore. But also, I came for an outstanding education, for a world-renowned STEM program, and for clinical research opportunities, and I definitely found that all here. I fully expected to take advantage of the cluster system and our unique curriculum and to conduct research and grow as a student and a leader. What I didn't expect was the personal growth that I found here. And what I certainly didn't expect when moving 3,000 miles away from everything I've ever known is that I would find a home and a second family and a support system that pushes me every day to be the best possible version of myself that I can be. From very early on in my educational journey, I've had teachers praise my independence, and I've prided myself for years on the fact that I could do everything without help and assistance. And I came to this school confident that I would be capable of doing it all on my own. In reality, this school has spent the past 4 years testing my independence and challenging the notion that my autonomy is my best virtue. My first test came in March of our freshman year, when I got notice that we would be sent home. 2020 was a very difficult year for everyone, and for me, it was the first time I began to understand the important role that community plays in my own success. Although I'd only known them for about 6 months, my friends went out of their way to reach out to me, and it was their daily check-ins and 3 a.m. FaceTimes that pushed me through one of the most difficult and isolating periods in our recent history. For the first time, I began to understand that going at it alone is not always the best choice. My biggest test, however, came just last year, when I failed my first and only class. My grades aren't in, so please keep your fingers crossed that it is my only class I will fail. I went through a flurry of emotions the day that I found out that I was going to not pass that class. But the one that stuck with me over time was shame. I felt I was a fluke, an anomaly, that this set me apart from my peers, and it meant that I didn't deserve to be here. And I was too ashamed to tell anyone, so I shoved it down. I put on a brave face, and I decided this was yet another challenge I would go at alone. It took about 3 weeks for that facade to crack, and I tearfully told my friends how upset I was. And one of them turned to me and laughed at me and said, thanks, said, don't worry, I also failed Orgo. And as I began to open up more and reach out to my friends for more support and encouragement, I kept finding more stories of classes and assignments failed. And I kept finding that same feeling of shame and undeservingness in others. And while that originally was a very comforting shared sentiment to find, it more importantly opened my eyes to the way that we talk about failure at this school, which is mostly that we don't, ever. We love to celebrate our successes so publicly and hide away our failures, but they are both equally important parts of our stories. Failure is inevitable. You're going to fail eventually at some point in your life. But don't allow that failure to define you. What defines you is how you react to it. Every failure is an opportunity to grow, to learn. Every failure forces you to improve yourself, to progress past what you were capable of yesterday. Each one of my failures has emphasized a significant role that my community, my support system, and my chosen family has on my progress and eventual success. And I will always find the strength through that community and through that chosen family to keep trying every time I am knocked down. I know in the world of academia, it doesn't ever seem like trying is good enough. But if there's one thing I want you to take away from my speech, it's that trying is absolutely good enough. It keeps pushing you forward. It keeps you progressing. In the not-so-famous words of Jeffrey Winger, what matters is not if you're good or bad at something. What matters is if you are trying to be better today than you were yesterday. And you, my fellow graduates, have pushed me to be better and to continuously improve. You've taught me important lessons about humility and compassion, about strength and vulnerability, and have shown me how to excel in each of those virtues. I am continuously motivated and uplifted by the incredible efforts of my peers and those around me, from helping to shovel snow out of your neighbors' driveways, and what I've learned are very awful winters, or evaluating gender bias in American voters, tutoring local elementary school students, or simply showing up to class on a day when you really did not want to. My undergraduate journey has been defined by your best efforts and the impact they have had on me and my educational journey. And I can only hope the same can be said of yours. Although this is the end of one chapter, I know it's not the end of our story together. We don't physically need to be together to be inspired and supported by one another. Simply knowing you all and knowing how talented and inquisitive, how impassioned, how talented, and how supportive and ambitious you all are constantly pushes me to keep trying to be better. And I hope that similarly, the connections you've made here, your friends, your coworkers, even your mortal enemies, continue to inspire you to keep trying to be better today than you were yesterday. So congratulations, 2023. I can't wait to see what you will all become.
Please welcome to the podium Dean of Graduate Education and Postdoctoral Affairs, Melissa Sturge-Apple.
Good morning. I'm excited to be here. It's a privilege to be able to announce the 2023 Teaching Awards for Graduate Education, our teachers for our graduate students. The Lifetime Achievement Award in Graduate Education is awarded to Michael Tannenhouse, the Beverly Peterson Bishop and Charles W. Bishop Professor Emeritus, Brain and Cognitive Sciences and Linguistics. The William H. Riker Award for Excellence in Graduate Teaching is awarded to Melina Essay, Associate Professor of Musicology. And the William H. Riker Award for Excellence in Graduate Teaching is awarded to Dr. Sherry Toth, Chair and Professor of Psychology and Psychiatry and Director of the Mount Hope Family Center. It is now my honor to introduce the class of 2023 graduate student speaker, Raven Osborne. Originally from Kansas City, Missouri, Raven is a former NIH Postbaccalaureate Research Fellow and is graduating today with a PhD in Translational Biomedical Sciences with an emphasis in bioinformatics and immunology. Her research focus is on developing network and statistical models to understand how the virus that causes COVID-19 evades the innate immune system. Raven co-founded and eventually presided over the university's chapter for the Alliance for Diversity in Science and Engineering, and she has won 2 awards recognizing her research and 5 awards recognizing her leadership and her commitment to inclusion in STEM fields. Please give me a warm welcome for Raven Osborne.
I am thrilled and so deeply honored for this opportunity to represent the graduating class of 2023. I want to acknowledge President Mangelsdorf, the Board of Trustees, the Platform Party, and everyone who worked so hard to make today special for all of us. I will not stand here today without expressing my deepest gratitude for my support system, my family, friends, colleagues, administrators. I am here because of your love, your support, your belief in me. Today is a fulfillment of the dreams of those who came before us and the progress to proceed onward. So, when I was asked to be the graduate student speaker for commencement, I nearly lost my breath. And then the next 3 phases of writing this speech began. First, I was in complete awe of how beautifully unpredictable this life can be. And second, I did what any self-respecting student in 2023 would do. I did not walk. I ran to ChatGPT. This is kind of a big deal. I don't want to mess up. So when submitting my appeal to our future artificially intelligent overlords, I requested an inspiring speech that would make me seem relatable and just like a little bit of humor, which I think I'm doing all right with so far. And in the blink of an eye, I was met with titles like chasing your dreams, the journey begins now, which I don't like. And beyond the degree, embracing a lifetime learning journey, which was better. And while these suggestions really deepened my fear that AI is going to take all of our jobs in about 5 years, I still didn't feel like it had that intangible human element. It didn't really feel like Raven. So third, I reached out to a professional, and she told me that her favorite commencement speeches were all personal stories. Now, personally, this was my worst nightmare. I'm generally a private person, but with time running down, science to publish, jobs to apply for, I decided to take her advice against my better judgment. So, dear audience, I humbly offer to you a piece of me, Raven, in the hopes that you feel inspired on this joyous occasion. Thank you. I never thought of myself as a leader or a role model for anyone. I always really saw myself as maybe just a few steps of where I was at the time. So that was a cheerleader and an ROTC kid in an unaccredited school district where we were so under-resourced that we had to sit on radiators because there weren't enough seats in the classroom. I was a prolific car detailer. I was a server at 12 different restaurants, including 3 different Applebee's and a pizzeria. I was also everybody's favorite Chuck E. at Chuck E. Cheese's. I always worked 2 to 3 jobs all throughout high school and college, which brings me to my next point. I was the first in my lineage to go away to college. Which was so devastating when I became the first to drop out. So for 4 long years, I labeled myself, I defined myself as a quitter. Self-doubt and expectations from other people were so loud in my mind. Until I did something that a lot of graduate students do at some point in their life. They took a look around, and I decided, you know what? I think it's high time for me to take my seat at the table, you know? I needed to prove myself wrong. So my journey began. I went to 2 different community colleges in 2 different states on my way back to the University of Missouri, where I started my journey in the first place. And I did something I hadn't done at any point in my life, including kindergarten. I made the dean's list almost every semester until I graduated. And in my final semester, a biology professor, Dr. Rex Crowcroft, who was so curious as to why I kept nodding off while I was sitting front and center in his class, because I was working all the time. He became the first person to really see my determination, and he guided me through the application process to the University of Rochester. And he's watching today on live stream. Dr. Rex Crowcroft, you changed my life. I had spent so many years struggling to go fast with no real direction, but I learned then that in order to go far, I needed other people. You cannot do it alone. But as we all know, old habits die hard, and I was so excited to be a graduate student and to be a great scientist, but I was also so determined to make sure that another Raven, a student with potential but didn't have the tools, would slip through the cracks. So, honestly, that cycle began again. It was overnight experiments, community service this, student representative that. I was going fast until a pandemic stopped us all in our tracks, and civil unrest followed. And one night, crushed under the pressures of changing my entire research, my dissertation research to address COVID-19, and as the new president of a student organization that I had co-founded. I was watching the live coverage of the country that was built off the backs of my ancestors burn. And I got a call from Brianna Minor, who is now Dr. Brianna Minor. And she called and she told me, "Are you seeing this? And are you ready?" And I knew right then it was time to go far. That one phone call led to a collective of graduate students, medical students, residents, business students from Simon, musicians from Eastman, educators from Warner, faculty, staff, and administrators coming together to go far. And we put a spotlight on this place to change minds, policies, and budgets to ensure that anybody who's talented, hardworking, and brilliant enough to walk these halls will leave with their star shining brighter than it was when they arrived. So today, class of 2023, I am so proud of you. And I have to say that for the first time in my life, I genuinely feel proud of myself. So, to first-generation students, I see you, I am you. To DACA recipients, to the queer community, to immigrants, to self-doubters, and to people who always knew that you would be here. We are all so very proud of you. And I just want to leave you guys with a few more things before I go. As living proof, I can tell you that doubt from any source should be challenged. You will go further if you lock arms with the people around you and you teach others to do the same through actions first. And if you don't remember anything else from this speech, please remember to pick up the phone for the people you love. Thank you so much.
Well, how about those student speeches? Wow. Wow. I don't know about you, but I got a little teary-eyed. Those speeches were both fabulous. And thank you so much, Raven and Alex. You were both such excellent representatives of our wonderful students here at the University of Rochester. We're so proud of both of you. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the part where we honor everyone in the class of 2023. I will ask each dean to present their respective graduates to the formal conferring of degrees. Dean Sturgeapple will come first.
Will doctoral degree recipients please rise to be recognized? President Mangelsdorf, on the recommendation of the faculty and with approval from the Board of Trustees, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for doctoral degrees for the 2022-2023 academic year.
Dean Sturgeapple, on behalf of the University of Rochester, I confer upon these students the degrees for which they have been recommended and admit them to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereof.
Congratulations, please be seated.
Will the graduates of the School of Medicine and Dentistry please rise to be recognized? President Mangelsdorf, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for degrees in the School of Medicine and Dentistry for the 2022-2023 academic year.
Dr. Taubman, on behalf of the University of Rochester, I confer upon these students the degrees for which they have been recommended and admit them to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereof.
Will the graduates of the School of Nursing please rise to be recognized? President Mangelsdorf, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for degrees in the School of Nursing for the 2022-2023 academic year.
Dean Kitko, on behalf of the University of Rochester, I confer upon these students the degrees for which they have been recommended and admit them to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereof.
Will the graduates of the Simon Business School please rise to be recognized? President Mangelsdorf, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for degrees in the Simon Business School for the 2022-2023 academic year.
Dean Yeltikin, on behalf of the University of Rochester, I confer upon these students the degrees for which they have been recommended and admit them to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereof.
Will the fabulous, the exceptional graduates from the Warner School of Education and Human Development please rise? President Mangelsdorf, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for degrees in the Warner School of Education and Human Development for the 2022-2023 academic year.
Dean Payray, on behalf of the University of Rochester, I confer upon these students the degrees for which they have been recommended and admit them to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereof.
Will the talented graduates of the Eastman School of Music please rise to be recognized? President Mangelsdorf, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degrees in the Eastman School of Music for the 2022-23 academic year.
Dean Rossi, on behalf of the University of Rochester, I confer upon these students the degrees for which they have been recommended and admit them to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereof.
Will the outstanding graduates of the Hagem School of Engineering and Applied Sciences please rise to be recognized? President Mangelsdorf, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for degrees in the Hagem School of Engineering and Applied Sciences for the 2022-2023 academic year.
Dean Heinzelman, on behalf of the University of Rochester, I confer upon all these students the degrees for which they have been recommended and admit them to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereof.
Congratulations.
So last but definitely not least, will the amazing, talented, and outstanding graduates of the School of Arts and Sciences please rise to be recognized? President Mangelsdorf, on the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degrees in the School of Arts and Sciences for the 2022-2023 academic year.
Dean Culver, on behalf of the University of Rochester, I confer upon all of these students the degrees for which they have been recommended and admit them to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereof. Congratulations to all of you. Now, this is just a message for our undergraduates. If you're undergraduates, move your tassels from the right to the left. Graduate students have already done. Okay, thank you. Thank you. thank you for members of the Eastman Wind Ensemble and their conductors, Luke Camarillo and Mason St. Pierre, for the wonderful music we've had this morning. Well, we're near the end here. We're nearing the end of this wonderful university commencement ceremony, and we invite you all to join us after the ceremony on the Wilson Quadrangle for the graduate and family picnic. So please rise for the university's alma mater, the Genesee. And members of the university's many a cappella groups will lead us in song. Please join in. And at the conclusion of the Genesee, please remain in your seats to make sure that all the aisles and walkways remain clear until the academic procession has processed. Thank you again for joining us today. And once again, congratulations, University of Rochester, class of 2023.
Actually, I think Yo, E.
Yeah, go for it.
I didn't bring one. No one told me.
1, 2, 3.
For many fair and famous streams beneath the sun there be, yet more to us than any seems our own dear Genesee. We love her banks and stately falls, for to our minds they bring our own alma mater's halls, where sweetest memories cling. As flows the river gathering force along her steadfast way, may we along life's devious course grow stronger day by day. And may our hearts where'er we roam forever loyal be to our beloved college home beside the